Hey guys, Corey here with Hip Kit Club and a new scrapbook process video for you. So today's Sketch Friday, and here is the sketch, which of course you can always find on Facebook on the member forum. And then today also we've got a little recipe challenge going on, and that recipe is to scrapbook a selfie, to start with a white base, to use 4 different patterns, pattern paper or otherwise, some florals, and then top it off with splatters or enamel dots. So with all of those things in mind, I am pulling out my pattern paper and trying to find 4 different patterns that I think I really love. So anyhow, it's easy. This kit is great. And I was actually going to go with like a pink type of theme, and then I decided that I would rather go with blue. And I hadn't decided which photo I was going to use until I did pick out the papers I was going to use, and then I realized that the shirt I was wearing in this selfie picture was blue, and so it worked out really good with the blue. So anyhow, I'm just going to go ahead and get started on this page. So I've been looking through, I looked through my phone to see for any recent selfies, and I had tons of selfies of me and my girls. So over the summer, we did like this selfie a day type of deal, and it was really fun. And that's pretty much the only way that I'm going to actually be in a selfie. So like my thing with selfies is I love them and hate them. So I love that my kids take selfies of themselves. I hate personally being in any selfie. Basically just because I feel like I look terrible and that I feel like I'm so not photogenic in these selfies. But I forced myself to do them all summer, and I like to do them, especially when I'm with a kid. Well, only when I am with a kid or my husband. And that's really just because I do make a point to try to actually be in the photos too, because I don't want like there someday to all of a sudden be like, where was mom? Oh, mom was always behind the camera. Mom was never in front of the camera, which is like really like terrible because, my kids don't, I hope at least, don't think I'm like not photogenic or whatever. Maybe they do, but like I would think that they would want me to be in the pictures to show that, we all did things together and it wasn't just always them. So even though I feel like such a loser being in selfies, like I purposely take them with my kids so that I can show that I was in all of this too. So anyhow, that's my story on selfies, and so that's what I'm scrapbooking today. It's not necessarily about the photograph as much as it is about the reason why I'm in them and why I feel the way I do about selfies in general. So anyhow, there you go. Told you, you don't even have to read the page now. There you go. So I'm using the color kit here to just get like a good color for the background of my page because, splatters are enamel dots. I'm actually going to go with the splatters because it's my favorite thing. And so like it's part of the recipe. Boom, I get to do my favorite thing and be asked to do it. So I was pretty excited about that. But once I got this done, I was like, I think I want to get some like good color on the page just kind of haphazardly. So I am using some packaging to just kind of smush some color on the page. I really dig these, whatever these are, these Lindy Stamp Gang powder things. I think they're really fun to use, and I've enjoyed it because the colors are really pretty. They're very vibrant, but they mix together really well. They also mix with different mediums really well, which is really nice. So I've just really enjoyed using them. They dry quickly, all the little things that are great for when you're impatient and working on a project. They've been great. So plus I get the color kit pretty much every single month. I add that on, and so it's great because I'm coming up with a really nice collection of different colors. Anyhow, all right, so moving on. That was wet, so it just needed to dry briefly. I'm using this little tag thing. I did paint it a little bit with some of the leftover paint that I had from the background, just to give it a little bit of color. And then to move it along, I'm using my heat gun to get it down, or to get it dry. And then I'm just going to start kind of like getting the center part of my page ready. All of this is just going to go smack dab on, my background. So I'm using a couple different elements from the sketch. Like the sketch actually has a tag in it, and I changed the positioning of where they had that tag from the sketch as to where I'm putting it on my page, but it's just jumping off points, which are really great. I'm also using just the kind of layers and stuff that the sketch shows. I'm just making them a little bit take up less space on the background. I actually started the whole page with it like, full blown, like pretty big or whatever. And then as I was working on it, I was like, you know what? I don't really want it quite that huge. I want to make it a little bit smaller. So that's what I did. Then I'm going through all the embellishments of the kit and pulling out some florals. Now, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I use florals, but they're really hard for me. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just not like a flower person in general, but I see these like gorgeous pages with these like layers of all these beautiful flowers that people make with these kits because, we get flowers in it a lot. Flowers are a great thing for your page. But I'm sitting there and I look at it and I'm like, why can't I do that with my own stuff? It's like I have a mental block and I just can't do it. So I don't know. So here I'm trying to like mix it up a little bit by making some kind of embellishment. So I layered wood veneer on top of these little flowers, and then I'm trying to arrange it, but I didn't adhere anything down prior to this because I was like, you know what? I can't do it right now. I have to see how this all plays out before I start putting florals on my page. So it's just going through other parts of the kit, and I saw these stencils and I was like, okay, I can definitely use that one. I like how it says, remember days like this. So I am going to use that. But before even that, I'm going to put my title on the page. So the title is just Selfies, and in the sketch, the title is on the right side of the photo, but I'm going to put it on the left. Not a big deal to make small changes like that. And just get that down there. And then because these are just letter stickers and I'm terrible about mine like coming off into my page protector, I do go down and I just stitch with my sewing machine the letters on real quickly. I love how in this video you really can't even see the stitching, but it is there, and that way my title will not fall off, and then it also gives a little bit of extra security for the center part of my page not coming off. Okay. So I'm using this stencil. It says, remember days like that, days like this. This is what I want to do. So I just use a little of the extra color from the color kit that I still had on this piece of palette paper, and I just mixed it with some light molding paste. So because I want to get these letters on. And then also I just used some washi tape or masking tape, whatever you want, to kind of cover up just right around where I was going to use what stencil letters I was going to use, because I didn't want to accidentally get other things on my page. So just get this on. And then once I did this, I was like, oh, this is like great. I really like how this ended up working. So I'm going to use a couple of the other little phrases as well. So this one says right now, get that one on. And then I go through and put in the happiness one on the top. And so I felt that was great. It really kind of helped frame the photograph too, using these little phrases and some mixed media products. So that dries really quickly, thankfully. And so then I'm just going to start embellishing this page with some of these florals that I have picked out. Now, I tried to get some of the smaller ones and also added my wood veneer to them and different things like that. And I'm just going to kind of like add some extra weight to this one little side of the page next to the photo. So the photo is kind of centered on the center line, obviously not in the center of the page, just down from the center of the page, but it is in the center line. So I just wanted to add a little extra weight to that right hand side of the photograph to kind of help balance the left hand side that is kind of heavy because of all these different patterns. So there is that. So, and then I was also looking at it going, okay, that space up above the photo, it just looks a little blank, like it's a busy, area, because that pattern is really busy and there's a lot of colors going on and things like that, but it just still felt like it was just kind of blank. So, I noticed this and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? So I'm like, all right, well, I'll get my journaling down, kind of look at it a little bit more, and figure out what I'm going to do with that top part of the page. So once my journaling's done, which is just all about that story I told you about how I don't like being in selfies, but I'm doing it anyhow. I realized I need to get some of these other things on. Luckily, that little flower worked really well. The next one didn't. But then I did end up adding some heart enamel dots. And then, and that really just helped it a lot. I'm sitting here looking at the page right now because it's sitting next to me, and I'm like, okay, it actually looks a little bit better. And what's funny is in the video, it's not like you can really necessarily see it, but when you're up close to the page, you can tell, and it does actually help it a little bit, and just not feel so vast and blank. I did add a couple extra little flowers here and there, just to kind of, frame the photo a little bit more and things like that. Now, I love it because I am using beach pictures, so it makes it a little tropical, it makes it a little easier. All right, guys, well, that's my page. Sorry for the incessant rambling, but I'm sitting here watching this video and so many different things come to mind. But anyhow, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I inspired you to use our sketch and participate in our challenge this week. Otherwise, you can always find me on Instagram. Thanks for watching. Bye.